and thinking and growing and learning and knowing. Yeah.
Hey, here we are again for another episode. Dr. Z, who do we have with us today?
We have Elliott, Rashed, and Rob Gough, affiliate marketers.
And digital marketing?
And digital marketing. And we are currently working with them to build up our business. So which one of you want to go first?
Wait. Before you do that.
Okay.
What are we kicking off today? New segment, everybody. What's it called, Dr. Z?
Oh, Power Partners.
Power Partners. Powerful partners.
Powerful
you guys
partners.
are definitely powerful partners.
Yes, absolutely. So who wants to kick it off? Give us an introduction, and then I guess you both can introduce yourselves, and then you can talk about how you both met.
Yeah.
Well, let's go
Sounds
alphabetically.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll go ahead and kick it off. My name is Rob Gough. I live here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, born and raised here. By trade, I guess you can say in an old life, I was a bartender here in Vegas for nearly 2 decades.
Wow.
Yes. Working in the service industry really taught me a lot of things. Is that I always had to be there weekends, holidays, late at night, which really allowed me to become aware that, my gosh, I'm missing out on a lot of time with my children. And as we know, that time and memories, we don't get back. So that's when I started looking to make a change in my life, to kind of pursue a little more freedom, to spend, reclaim that time with my children. And that's when I came across freelance / affiliate marketing.
Nice.
So far, I've been full-time online for a little over 3 years now, and very grateful for my journey.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. And, my name's Elliott Rashed, and I got started in 2018 with affiliate marketing and then expanded into a little bit more digital marketing as well. And before that, my trade, was engineering. Went to school to be a mechanical engineer, and then found myself sitting in an office. Also, I traveled for 1 year, and I didn't even, get to hang out with my friends. I was living in hotels and on the road pretty much every single week. Getting sick. I got sick. I was gaining weight, and I was just really unhappy. So I knew that I needed to make a change, and I knew that life is short based on medical history. Unfortunately, I went through cancer, and that's how Patrick and Zelda connected a little bit with your story as well, because you've had some adversity to overcome. But with that, I know life is short, and it's like I want to do what I want to do. I want to be able to have time with my family. I don't want to be in an office 8 hours a day during the week. And so that's when I started this, affiliate marketing, because it was like, wow, we can actually earn an income while we sleep, or earn an income while we're on vacation. And that was like, that's what I need. That's what I need to focus on top of, working my job so I can get out of it. And then along the way, of course, I met Rob, and I met you, Patrick, and Zelda. So we'll talk probably a little bit about that. But that's just a tiny backstory about what got me started.
Nice. Bring on the mailbox money, honey.
Yeah, so we'll talk. You can talk more now about how you two met, and what was the synergy like? How did you know that this was going to be your person?
Yeah, give us the evolution of how you guys met, and how you, hey, maybe we should partner up. Yeah, I'm dying to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, I can kick it off, and Elliott, I'm sure, has a lot to share as well. So this is almost a direct continuation of my introduction. I did really come across like freelance, affiliate marketing in 2017, so 6 years now. And I came across this mentorship program online, and I jumped in. It just seemed different to me, the way he ended up being my mentor, kind of the face of the company. And his just energy was different. So I jumped in, and I started learning the skill set and the mindset. So maybe we'll dive into that that piece a little later.
Mm-hmm.
However, it was a high ticket coaching program, and with it came a couple live events that they invited us to attend with some speakers, and got to meet the mentor himself in person.
Nice.
And this is where I met Elliott Rashed right here. It's a kind of a funny story. We share it among our circles and our communities. And this event, I've never went to anything quite like it. I was essentially, he was in Vegas, but I didn't know anybody that attended here. It's all brand new people. Essentially, I was by myself amongst a lot of people.
Yeah.
And lunchtime came, and of course, lunchtime's a great time to mingle. It was kind of like a buffet style. So we grabbed our plate, delicious food, by the way. I grabbed my plate.
Vegas,
I looked
baby.
around. I looked around. There's this huge banquet room with all these round tables. And I looked around. And I was like, okay, where am I going to sit? Oh my goodness. I just looked for like the first empty, well, kind of with seats available. And I walked over and I said, is this the cool people's table? Just to try to break the ice. Elliott was sitting there, and another one of our friends, well, he became a friend from that day.
Sure.
And I remember this clearly. Elliott said, well, it is now, right? So,
Right.
yeah, so that's kind of how it all started. And I'll let Elliott kind of elaborate kind of what it developed into since that moment.
Yeah,
I gotta
that's
note
pretty.
that. Sorry, I just want to jump in and note that everybody, did you get that? Is this the cool people table? Is that what you said?
Yeah, is this where the cool people sit or something like that?
Yeah.
That's our origin story. Like, I was exactly the same too. I didn't know anybody at all. I just went to this event thinking, well, I'll learn something.
Yeah.
And then, feeling kind of alone, you start to talk to people and you're like, whoa, these are really like-minded people. And, that's really the origin story. I met another one of our friends, Joey. We were sitting at this table, and then Rob comes in. He's a cool kid. So that became our cool kids trifecta, really.
Nice.
We had, fun little nicknames for each other because I was, analytic on some of the funnels and things. And, funny enough, they called me the professor. So we got Professor P on here because I'm so like down to, analyze things, I guess. But from there, we still didn't have our funnels built. We were just learning. That was our first event. It was maybe a couple months in of just getting started, and we still had a lot to learn. So what we did is we decided to every week, no matter what, jump on a Zoom call, just us three, and we would teach each other what we learned that week. If we learned something around building a funnel or placing ads online,
Yeah.
or the automations of, if you will, on digital marketing, we would all teach each other in an hour and help each other implement it too. That was key because, Rob would get really good at funnel building. So he'd be like, oh, did you guys do this in your funnels yet? This is what I learned this week. And then Joey would be like, oh, I figured out the Facebook pixel, or I figured out like emails, and we would all show each other. And that's what really helped us get to our first online sales. So it was about, another 5 to 6 months after we started working together and met at that event, we all pretty much at the same time got our first $59 sale online.
Wow.
It's so cool. I remember Joey created a video. He's like, I just got my first sale, and he was making some crazy noises, wah, 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 stuff like that. It's like, I love you guys. This is awesome. And it was amazing. We all got our first sale, and from there, we've gone on to create more sales online, including a higher ticket sales. In the beginning, $59 is great. It's awesome. It's like, wow, this works. And
Right.
then you get on to creating a $4,500 sale with a high ticket item. And then it's like, whoa, I just made $4,500 in a day. My life is going to be changed forever. So
Yeah.
from there, we all, kind of developed our own niches. Like I focused on travel. Like I wanted to travel, so my branding was about that. And Rob and Joy was a little bit different. Rob can elaborate on that, but really we decided to create a little Facebook group where we would hop on Zoom and train what we learned for other people, our own clients that we started to create. little did we know that those clients would become leaders in this $100 million company. And, our little group was creating basically affiliate winners. They were on the
Wow.
leaderboard. Our little team was taking over the entire leaderboard of affiliate sales. So it was just
Wow.
really cool, and it spoke to show that a mastermind group is a really powerful thing when you can
Yes.
learn and inspire each other.
Yeah.
I could keep talking about this. I talked about if you ask the right question, you'll get me talking. But I want to hand it off back to Rob just to elaborate a little bit more on your niche, and then how we got together in creating the mastermind groups.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
yeah. Thanks, Elliot. Thank you. Yeah, that was that story that Elliot shared is the humble beginnings of what became something great that we're involved in now. And
Mhm.
it was the triad. Joey, he's kind of went his own way currently, but off the three of us, how Elliot said, we met every week and compared notes and what's working in our business and what's not. In essence, we were masterminding, the three of us.
Right.
And as Elliot said, it became we had all of our affiliate referrals. We created a group to help them out, and out of that, it just became it grew. Like people saw value in
Yeah.
meeting and masterminding every week, and out of that group, it really evolved into the community we have today, our mastermind group, where we
Mhm.
serve our clients and help them get further in their businesses and allow them to grow their mindset. With my niche, though, um, of course, I started as an affiliate marketer, was on that leaderboard that Elliot was talking about. And as
Mhm.
I became comfortable with the skills all around, like digital marketing, funnels, the whole shebang, I was like, well, I can literally take any idea I've had up in here and now put it online and market it. It's kind of crazy. Like the
Right.
puzzles just connected, right? And so primarily my mindset journey has been pivotal for me. I was a much different person years ago before this journey. My self-employment journey came with a mindset journey,
Yeah.
and I've evolved, and it's changed so much for me in my life and my children that I decided to bring my knowledge, my experience, the thousands of dollars and time I've invested in my mindset growth to create a program in the self-development niche. And that's kind of primarily where a lot of my focus has been. And now it's kind of been kind of implemented or integrated into our mastermind group. So I'm very excited that we now have a skill set element and a mindset element right within our own mastermind group. It's great.
Yeah.
You hit on something extremely interesting to me, because what you said a couple of minutes ago about how I can take any idea and monetize that. We're coaches, we have a coaching business. We talk to people all the time. And one of the things that I say to the people is figure out your passion. What do you love to do? Once you figure that out, now go out there and figure out how to monetize it. And you just nailed it right there. Bam. And Elliot, you said something about a $4,500 deal. I'm like, get up, get out of your going, home run. Right? How exciting is that? And the other thing I noticed was Rob was earlier. He's like, I say this to Zelda all the time. I'm like, get that fist pump. Yeah, yeah. Get that emotion in there, right? Because it raises you up to a level, and it just gets you jazzed up. And yeah, okay. And the other thing was you guys talked about, and I did this in real estate years ago. I think what you figured out early on was the belief, like that $59 sale for all three of you guys. Hey, we can do this. We can make money at that. And that power of belief I'm getting chills right now just talking about this. Is so powerful.
Man, that's awesome, because I mean, it's proven that if we could follow those steps and all of us get a sale, it's proven that this exact process that we followed worked.
Right.
And yeah, like talking about the belief and the emotion, I remember saying, I'm a 5-figure earner. I'm a 5-figure affiliate marketer
Yeah.
to get to that next level.
Mm.
And, I would visualize that $4,500 check every time I went to bed. I'd be laying down and I'd visualize, oh,
Mm.
I'm gonna make $4,500 in a day. And of
Yeah.
course, it happened right on the last day of the year, and we had celebrated for New Year's in Vegas together. It was really, really awesome. It was like,
Sweet.
I noticed that when you get in a mastermind group or you're there together in person, things happen. Like you go to an event and it's like, boom, we're at another event, and I just got another next level of sales here.
Mm.
And it's just
Yeah.
something about energy and, being, when you're really being it, you're gonna be able to attract that energy. It's something, I mean, I'm reading a book about this right now. It's sometimes hard to believe the way the universe works, but really, I remember our friend Keala, he would actually yell it to himself, like, I'm a millionaire internet marketer, and he would say it over and over until he actually felt it internally.
Mm.
And that's when internally that energy was created. So it's not just saying it once every day. It's like, let's look in the mirror, let's say it out loud and actually believe it. And that's what we had to do. We, behind the scenes, we were doing that individually. We put it up on the mirror. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm a millionaire internet marketer. We put it on our desktop backgrounds. We put it everywhere, and it's like shouting it from
The
until we could feel it.
rooftops. Right.
Yeah,
So
pretty much.
don't do it like Eeyore. I'm a millionaire earner.
Well, so
I'm
Rob,
a millionaire earner. Throw that emotion in there, right? Belief.
Was it the same for you? That same intensity too of belief?
I think eventually it became, yes, to the same
Okay.
intensity. I don't know if that I've ever shouted it to myself, but I've gotten pretty intense in my affirmations, though. But what I will bring up is that I think most people that are just starting out making the shift from, let's say, employee to self-employed, there is a mindset shift that needs to be had
Yeah.
because it's
Right.
quite different. The belief level and so I think a lot of us, when we start, at least I know I'm speaking for myself, but I work with a lot of people that are just getting into this,
Yeah.
just starting self-employment, and a lot of people they deal with that. They're battling imposter syndrome, like they're just
Mhm.
starting. Like, how can they promote, like as an affiliate, they're promoting somebody else's product or service, but yet they don't have the experience, or they can't say they've made this certain amount of sales. So that's something I certainly dealt with in the beginning, was like that imposter syndrome. But
Right.
to get over that, like what I've noticed, what I did personally was just to create that belief through affirmations, intense affirmations, and just consistency. If there's one thing that I've noticed, like especially in our community, we deal with people that are just up and coming, making the shift from either full-time employment to full-time self-employment, is that I've noticed is that what's missing is maybe the self affirmation, but the consistency really. The consistency is what really builds the habit. And we all know there's bad habits and good, and
Yeah.
is to really cultivate and create those good habits so that they can achieve their goals or get to their revenue goals in their business. So that's for me was the biggest challenge in the beginning, was consistency and just creating
Yeah.
that self belief.
I want to
If
go
I can
back
touch
a
on that
second.
too.
Sorry to interrupt, but I want to talk about how, Elliot, you were talking about the power of masterminding, and you had the three of you. Zelda and I, we're masterminding all the time, just the two of us, but it gives us a huge advantage over other people. And then what I like to say is, when we get out there and I'm looking to talk to people or do a discovery call or whatever it is, I like to say, hey, let's collaborate so we can create some compound intellectual interest. Hasn't caught on yet, but I'm going to keep putting it out there.
But it's that synergy, it's really, that's the power of the mastermind, that when two or three are gathered together, there is that third mind, which actually takes it to another level than what can even be created by the one mind alone.
Hmm.
Were you
Yeah.
gonna add something, Elliot? You wanted to say something?
Yeah, well, that just brought up another story about, the compound intellectual interest hasn't caught on yet. Well, we have a friend who, when he was starting he had a phone call, like a group phone call. So people are calling in, and listening to him talk about, how to, uh, you know, build an online business.
Hmm.
At first he was like, no one showed up, but I'd be on there. I'd be like, oh, people are dialing in right now. And he would have his friend calling and dinging in, because every time his friend would just hang up and call in and put ding, 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 another caller's coming in. People listen from all over the world. And it was really no one was listening. But that's the thing. He eventually, was, has created $1 million business. They just crossed, I believe, 10 million in their business. And it's like, you got to start somewhere, and you just keep having that belief, Patrick, because even if it hasn't caught on yet, it will, as long as you're
Right.
consistent. And going back to that consistency piece of it, what I wanted to mention was part of our personal development. I know we all know this, is there's different levels of conscious. There's your conscious mind, and then your subconscious. We can go on and talk about super conscious as well,
Oh
which is
yeah.
like universal energy. But the big one here is the subconscious. It's actually all of our habits and things we do in a day are influenced by 95% of our subconscious mind.
Hmm.
Breathing, habits and patterns. You just go and get your coffee or whatever your patterns are. And we had to learn how to change some of those habits that were influenced by the subconscious, because conscious 5% is like what's going on right now,
Yeah.
but underneath that is that's not conscious, is like controlling our entire day, 95%. And after a certain age, after the age of 25, it becomes less malleable, less it makes it harder to change the
Right.
subconscious. So we learned that we needed to either have some sort of trauma or create repetition. Those are really the only two ways to adjust your subconscious, like a big traumatic or powerful event or repetition. And a lot
Right.
of people just struggle with that consistency, repetition. It's the same thing. So when Rob talks about repetition of, his intentions for the day, that's super important, because that's going to be changing your subconscious and creating new patterns. It takes time to do that, and that's why a lot of people fail, is they don't have that consistency.
Right.
uh, for me, I had a traumatic event. I had cancer when I was younger, so that helped me get pushed into the entrepreneurship. I don't know if without that event, I don't know if I would have done that,
Right.
but I know that was a big traumatic piece to it. And then I also had to integrate repetition, no matter what, consistency. So I just wanted to add that subconscious mind piece, because mindset is super, super important. And that's part of it is, repetition.
Well, it's interesting because so we know you two. That you have a bit of an age difference, and so obviously your mindset is different. And like you just said, Elliot, Elliot, you being younger, I was just thinking, maybe your life experiences maybe might have been a little easier for you to believe, or to have a freer range of motion of what was possible for you to create. Talk about your interactions with Rob, right? Because Rob was employed, an employee for so much longer. And how did that synergistically work between the two of you? Maybe was that a hindrance, or was it something that you had to overcome, or what was that like?
I think that I actually learned a lot of wisdom from his experience.
Mm.
So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to know him, because he was sharing his past years with
Hmm.
me, and I could learn way faster, and not, maybe he shared his what worked and what didn't work. So both ways, it's wisdom for me that I can uh, adjust, and from this moment maybe avoid mistakes and focus on the things that I wanted to create. So synergistically, it worked really well. Honestly, I feel we're the same age. When I'm around anyone, sometimes I just feel like we're pretty much the same age. I don't really notice the age difference, but I always am just looking for you know wisdom, I guess, and what
Yeah.
what we can learn and grow from. So that was my experience. Rob, might have been a little bit different. It's a very interesting question, because I never have really thought about it that way.
I agree. It is a great question, and in the beginning, that is one of my observations, is that Elliot's much younger than I am. Gosh, I think I'm old enough to be as his father.
No way.
The
No
third
way.
gentleman, it's pretty close. The third gentleman, Joey, which is he was kind of the triad in the beginning. He was younger too, so I was the
He was
oldest of the
younger than
three.
Elliott. Where did he land between the two of you?
No,
Or-
he was like 2 years older than me, I think.
oh, okay, okay.
So I'm older than 25. I'm 28. Just for perspective. So I have to work a little bit harder at adjusting my subconscious here.
You're past
And
the
my age
adolescent
will
brain.
remain unknown.
okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm 45.
Okay.
So a little bit of a difference, but after, as time went on, it wasn't a huge thing for me. My observation was, yeah, they're younger, but these days I don't, see age. It makes no difference to me at all, especially with my Elliot and my relationship. We're both very mature and intelligent, and we've just worked really well together. You mentioned synergy. We kind of have the same personality, a lot of similarities, and we just really work well together. And I haven't had many differences of opinion along the way. It's been 5 years now.
Wow.
Pretty crazy.
So 5 years. Wow. You're right on that borderline of 5 years in business where they say most businesses fail, within 5 years. So kudos, congrats for that.
Definitely.
I'm sure you guys are going to be well on your way, but take us back to those beginnings and give our listeners and viewers an idea of what it's like for a partnership. Pull that curtain back and say, here's some of the trials and tribulations or adversities we remember. Both of you chime in and give us one thing that really stood out early on. Is this really going to work? Partnerships, sometimes there's some bad publicity around partnerships.
The only ship that doesn't float is a partnership, right?
But not always.
Yeah.
Take us back, if you would.
I can definitely provide some wisdom on this.
Okay.
And I know Rob can too. I wanted to share a few things. When it comes to partnerships, I mean, one thing I didn't mention yet is when I was working like right out of college, I had a drone company. So we did aerial photography, videography. And when we made it an official entity, it was a LLC. We had 4 partners, 25% each. And the partnership wasn't quite equal. It's never, and in truth, any partnership isn't going to be equal. Like some of us are going to be at 80%, some of us at 20. And really you need to go into it with that wisdom and know who really should be the ownership and who should actually just be like contractors, for example. And so we ended up breaking up that company. It just disagreed. It was friends. I personally don't like to do business with family or friends just because I don't want to jeopardize that relationship. I mean, but of course, Rob is a different story because we get along so well. I have some other friends that, I do business with too, but I've learned who not to do business with, basically. But what I want to share is I asked at a live event. So we went to a live event and there was a special after chair talk where they had all the speakers from the event. You could ask them any questions you want. It was a closed piece. Only a certain number of people could access that based on their like level of investment. So of course I invested highly in myself, and I think Rob was there and Joey was there too. But we at that time, Joey, Rob, and I were planning to do like a funnel building agency. And so I asked the question, hey, so we have this idea to make an agency, and how would you set this up? Would you create like a LLC? Do you think we should build funnels and then just repeat the same funnel? And our main friend Kayala, he was like, don't be partners, because he had experienced an immense challenge with his partner, and there was a lot of disagreements and things like that. So even to this day, actually, we have chosen to separate our businesses 100%. I own my business 100%. Rob owns his business 100%. And we just pay each other as contractors as needed. And that way we have full creativity in our own businesses, and we have I personally feel like it's allowed us to flow better and not have disagreements.
Okay.
So
Yeah, great idea.
Yeah, yeah. How about
Yeah.
you, Rob?
Basically, I saw, the same journey as Elliott just spoke about. So we have the same mentor. His name's Kala Kanai, and he had this hugely traumatic, business breakup with his partner, and this is why he says, "No, don't have partners." And it was scary. I was like, "Yeah, I don't want partners," but then again, sometimes we need the help, right, to grow
Yeah.
business. It's very tough to do it on your own sometimes, and so I was freaked out at first too, partners, but the arrangement that we have now, it works. It works
Right.
really well, and it's been proven. So yeah, along the same lines, seeing our mentor go through that, I'm very wary about having business partners. So for those of you watching and listening, if you're choosing to have or considering business partners, make sure that we have the same qualities and values, and or possibly consider using an arrangement like Elliott and I have, separate LLCs, but we work together.
Okay.
and
Yeah,
I'll
but
share that.
unfortunately, that is not always. You can't always do that with every situation. I mean, if you're partnered in a HVA, heating and air conditioning company, I suppose you could. You could have two different heating, HVAC companies, but yeah, I love that you guys did that because that makes a lot of sense, especially for what you guys are doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would like to add though, like, yeah, for HVAC or maybe any traditional business, that probably won't work. But for digital online, it certainly works well. And we do have a company that has kind of pointed us and give us advice and strategic tips on how to structure the way we're operating right now.
Yeah, and
yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, Rob. You're gonna say something, Elliot?
Oh, I was just gonna provide a little bit more wisdom quickly too, because if you're in, let's say you're in a partnership, what we've learned is one of the best structures is to start off with you yourself or your family owning a trust fund. The trust fund then owns 100% of a
Hmm.
holding company. So that holding company is like a LLC, but then that's where you can branch off and then do partnerships because that'll create uh, legal protection in a way. So it's like you don't alone own 50% of your partnership. It's like your actual 100% LLC owns a portion of the next level below it. So that way you're creating more of a protection system. Uh,
Mm.
so that's one way to do it if you're going to go into partnerships. I just wanted to share that because I didn't know anything about trust funds. My family never really had a trust fund or LLCs. So for anyone listening, that can be a valuable structure to start with.
Yeah.
And also for legacy and succession planning too, if God forbid anything happened to either one of you. Um, yeah, and I was just wondering too, like Rob, you kind of hinted or whatever, you're kind of going in this self-development track. And so as you all see or envision your future, do you have like three different futures, maybe yours and Elliott's and then the two of you, or how do you start to maneuver as you move into the future and plan into that?
Um, wow. I would
Good question.
say, yeah, that's a loaded one. I would say, we started with the self development topic. So in my self development personal growth journey, vision is very important. Now we hear of
Mhm.
vision boards and stuff like that. More power to you if you use a vision board. I think they're great. But what I'm talking about is like actually having a set vision, like writing it down, like maybe even taking some time out to yourself and go in nature and just really connect with yourself, operate out of your subconscious and write down maybe like a 5, 10, 15 year and 20-year vision. And that gives you kind of a way to go, a direction. And so where does Elliott fit in this? We do have a business together, and we've actually went through the same trilogy of mindset self-development courses.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's also done the vision work as well. So the common thing here is that we have a business together, so we can share the vision on where we want it to go. So I know Elliott wanted to add something here. No, okay.
I think he
I
was
just was
wanting to order
pointing.
coffee or something. Can I get a coffee?
This right here is part of the trilogy proof I was pointing at
Gotcha.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh,
The
okay.
awards there.
right there.
Oh,
I thought
see.
you were trying to order a coffee or something.
I'm all set here. We're good.
Okay, good.
That's what I meant
So,
to say. I wasn't like, oh, I got an idea. No, it's this is what I'm trying to show here. These things.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
It just
okay.
represents to us a reminder of what we had gone through. Is very intense series of subconscious, conscious, and superconscious transformations.
Right.
Oh.
So what you guys have gone through, you just hit the nail on the head for the next thing I want to ask, because it seems like you guys have shied away from talking about any adversity in depth. So for the people that, I love to bring it back to the people that are watching and listening to this, just starting out, they're struggling with the adversities. What tip can both of you give? You know, both of you go, whoever wants to go first, but what's a great tip, or think back on some of the adversities and how you powered through it? Do you have an example of that for the people that are sitting out there right now, like, man, I don't know if this is going to work?
Mm-hmm. I'll jump right in there. And right when you said that, it reminded me of my self-development program. And
Mm.
it's based heavily on what you do on a daily basis, creating solid and consistent daily routines, which will then become positive, empowering habits.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So for the brand new person, this is probably one of the best advice, is to really sit down and dissect what you're doing on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
There's one concept I learned on my journey, and is that you control your day. Don't just let the day happen to you. Like, own it. Own your day.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let the day own you. And before most people are aware to this, they just wake up and, okay, I got to do errands and go to work. And they're just kind of letting the day happen.
Yeah.
Now imagine if you implement certain things in your day consistently. So where you're shooting to to do it 1% better than yesterday. And that compounds over time. And that also, improves, creates good habits. And again, allows you to get closer to your business goals. So that is probably the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Take it really, like, make it granular and really kind of see what you're doing in your day and how you can improve it and improve yourself 1% day to day.
Cool. So yeah, I mean, that's a principle. Something we like to talk about is principles for shifting, because principles last forever, and then strategies, are only effective for certain amounts of time. But when it comes to adversities, for me personally, I had a few things to go through. The biggest one I would say is my weight, around my weight. So there's certain beliefs that are there that are just running my activities, that I was afraid to just show myself because of how I looked, or I felt like I was overweight. It all goes back to elementary school, when this kid called me a fat ass.
Yeah.
And I let that get to me in my mind. Early age, your subconscious hits that. And I kept telling myself that. And so I would, even if I would lose weight, I would just gain it right back, because this program's running in my mind that, oh, I am a fat ass, basically. So with that, that was a huge adversity for me to get over, because part of the reason why I was afraid to be on video. I was afraid to be in public. I was afraid to put myself out there.
Yeah.
Because of that. And so I remember putting myself down internally a lot. I would tell myself, oh, you're not good enough, or people don't want to interact with you. I was afraid. I wouldn't speak up. I wouldn't go out in public and talk, or really speak up, because I was afraid of what people would think of me, based on that, all of that history there it's like 20 years of putting myself down, right? So
Yeah.
the adversity is actually, it ties into what Rob was saying. Um, this is something that we really get into in, some of our coaching, is what happened to us and how we overcame that. And part of that is changing our beliefs. Also, sometimes you need coaching. You really do. If you want to speed it up, you need some sort of coach to really pinpoint things. And I remember going to an event, and I spoke up, and I said something that I usually tell myself. It was like, I'm even though I might look funny or something, I said something like that. And and then the coach that was there, this is in front of like 300 people too.
Mhm.
He was like, "You have a great face. You look amazing." Like, and that really was a moment where I was like, "Wow, I created that."
Yeah.
That's exactly what Rob's saying. I'm in charge. I own it, and I'm the one that created the. Oh, I'm a fat ass, or I created it and kept it.
Yeah.
So that was just a adversity thing, and underneath all of that, you can change. And I think a lot of people have something like that going on,
Yep.
and that's what holds them back from actually going outside of their little box
Yep.
and expanding into what they really want with their life.
Yeah.
Well, I really liked what you were saying about your friend when he was having these calls, and it was just one friend that was calling, but he's like, yeah, we got some calls coming in, yeah, we got another call coming in. And it was like he was telling himself, he was like commanding that, or he was living into that future that he saw for himself. And it's so interesting how you were living into that past image of yourself, and now it's like you're creating the future, and the future image, and the way that you see yourself is changing in the midst of that. So that's really powerful.
Yeah. And what I wanted to add was, I was trying to get it in earlier, but I couldn't squeeze it in. What I wanted to say when you were talking about it in real time there was, it was so cool how he was fake it till you make it, right? He was there like he was an actor or something. Hey, Jimmy, go get line 3. The board's lighting up. We're on fire.
Hundreds of people calling in, hundreds of people, they're on the
Yeah,
line.
and I did a similar thing in real estate. I turned to a guy next to me. I'm like, where's your next house coming from? He's like, huh? I don't have any houses. I'm like, I know, but where's your next one coming from? Fake it till you make it, right? Man, we could go ahead.
Yeah, I said it can be fun. Doing that can be fun.
Yes.
Like having conversations. You've been having a conversation of the future with a person that may not even be present at the time.
Yeah.
But yet you can believe that they are there. And the words, the power of the spoken word too. We talk about affirmations, but living into the words, and you're hearing yourself speak. So saying it out loud reinforces it in your own mind.
Elliott, you hit on a powerful point there, that realization awareness is so powerful, and it's simple, but it's not easy. What do you mean by that? Well, it's simple to get awareness and realize that, hey, I can do this, but making that happen is crossing the chasm, right? Crossing the bridge, to putting the jetpack on and flying over to the other side. Well, hey, we got a hard stop here in a couple of minutes. So any final thoughts?
No, I totally love this. And just to reiterate the power of belief and visualization, and just really seeing that truth for yourself, and then going about creating it.
Yeah. So guys, final thoughts, 30 seconds, and where can people find you?
I just like to say, I mean, there's so much more that we could unpack, and I wish we had more time than we had. Like, I have a million things I want to say, but I want to go just quickly recap a little bit about the affiliate stuff. You can actually pick any niche. That's what I loved about it. You don't just have to be in, MLM, just about health. You can actually choose a niche on, like, you can go to bestbuy.com, scroll to the bottom, and be an affiliate. You can go to Amazon, be an affiliate, or pretty much any site. So you can promote anything you want, and that really becomes your own business. So I just wanted to share that starting out as an affiliate is a great way to start your own business, but also start the truth of uncovering what's going on inside you. It's mindset and skill set are, when we marry those together, mindset and skill set, that's what creates success. And you can see we talked a lot about mindset today, and that's a really big foundation in terms of, creating the success that you want. You can take any type of business you want, you can create if you focus on your mindset. So that's why we, just love talking about that. We couldn't stop talking about that.
Right.
And if you'd like to hop into our world, we have a free group community. It's at famastermindlive.com, as in fam. So fam mastermind. So the M is the same M. famastermindlive.com. I'm sure they'll link it below in the show notes. You can tap into our world, learn more principles about digital marketing, affiliate marketing, and mindset.
Awesome. I know we got a hard stop here, so I'll keep it short and sweet. I know I've talked about a lot about consistency and daily routines, owning the day, but if there's anything I'll leave y'all with is, if you haven't done any, mindset work or dove into that, I highly suggest it. There's a lot in our subconscious that's controlling our adult decisions, and a lot of that is dependent on the things we've seen, heard, and experienced as children, primarily ages 0 to 8. So I always joke around and say there's a bunch of 8-year-olds running around in adult bodies. But if you explore that world and really dive deep and become aware to some of the things that might be shaping you as an adult, you can change it and rewire your brain to make better decisions that serve you as an adult. So
nice. Well, one thing, we're sitting here, I'm thinking, my mind all going 100 miles an hour. Can't wait for you guys to get us our affiliate link so we can put it for your company in the show notes. Looking forward to you guys generating that real soon. Well, we're going to have to leave it right there. And as always, thank you